That's 079. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the May 17th pre-show of Middleboro Review. Not really, but about 8 minutes before we go on the air here for the show.
You been eating lead paint?
What? What was that for? That was random. What happened? Why is there nothing on the air here? Give it a second. It's 2 minutes before 7, so I'm not going to flip this switch yet. Hate when they do this.
Why, they do that sometimes?
They do that. They just dead air.
Oh, really?
They do that. It's just, why?
Well, you want to start early?
About 30 seconds if they don't do something here. I don't think I hit anything. So,
about the youth in our community. His
How long until we're on?
2 minutes. 2 minutes before 7.
Organization and help change the lives of thousands of
I wait until 7 and then I switch it.
WBGC Executive Director Erica Young. Joe and his family are involved in numerous nonprofit and community projects in the surrounding communities of their restaurants. Joe is the recipient of the Mayor's Community Service Award. Waltham's West
got a
Chamber of Commerce
Fires report?
No, I don't. Not this week.
No?
No, not this week.
I know what they're talking about.
No, we're going to talk about JC Penney though.
Yeah.
We just don't have a coronavirus update this week.
Can you get one quick though?
I don't.
I think he should.
I did it last week.
Yeah, but I mean, you do it every week. Gracious. Can you get it, Eric? Can you get it?
Kind of cutting it close. Not really.
Well, you don't have to start out with it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. It's not really much of an update, though. A couple of new cases.
Hello, this is Melanie, and I'm reading
But I can look.
Reader's Digest. First,
Any
what the
changes
department
to,
calls
like,
the Department of
anything
Wit.
when it comes
This
to
story is called
other numbers
Daddy
here.
Issues.
Let's see.
Important breaking news about fathers.
Hold on.
This from The Onion. I don't know if that's a magazine.
The
Number
Onion.
one,
That's
3-year-old convinced
totally not a good article to do.
convinced
Broadcasting live from the
My phone's up there, George.
studios
Okay.
Church Green. We are AM 1530 WBGC
Alright, wait a minute.
Middleboro, Taunton, and W259 DD.
I'll pick it up and get it ready while you're Tony's on his intro. All right?
Yeah. Let's see what is there for an update here. It's not really much of an update. So I need to. Come on, no. It kind of is, actually. Look. It's up to 193.
Well, you should say that after you read the
Cases.
poem.
There's no change to the number of people who passed away. They don't have an update for that. So it's just number of cases that it's up to 190, 193. Oh. All right. Let's go. There you go.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes. In his second online high school commencement speech of the day, former President Barack Obama yesterday took swipes at current politicians and their responses to the coronavirus pandemic. Without naming names, Obama said,
"This pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing. A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge."
White House economic advisor Peter...
Well, actually, yeah, there is quite a few updates on that we can't talk about because I'm forgetting that tomorrow they're supposed to unveil the plan for how they're going to reopen. So, if I can get an article about that, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, but I mean, no one really knows. It's tight lipped.
Yeah, that's why I don't have many updates on that. Because no one knows.
There was just this big study about anxiety among us. Really interesting in this study.
There is some new numbers, so we should do that.
Things to worry about is
You're right. We should try to
for healthcare.
Well, you know
update
what?
people on
Just
that.
go to the palm.
They were worried about that.
And
It's
then,
totally understandable. But there's an affordable alternative.
So we're gonna start out on a bright note, baby.
It's a
I mean,
Christian healthcare sharing ministry.
I'll do the weather too first. I'll do the weather and then the poem.
Okay.
Not only do people save
All right, where's the weather here?
Yeah, you gotta say, yeah, you will.
Yeah, I always do the weather first, so I need to do that first.
You know what to do, Joe. You know how it all blends in. You mesh it in perfectly, you know what I mean?
Yes,
I may give you crap, but you really look where you are though right now. You know what I mean? In the driver's seat, not me.
Middleboro, Texas weather. In Middleboro.
Around 1 dozen firefighters were injured battling a huge blaze that caused an explosion in the Little Tokyo area of Los Angeles yesterday. It caused a fire to spread to multiple buildings, and witnesses say ash was raining down across blocks around the area. NASCAR is making its return from the coronavirus pandemic shutdown with a cup race at Darlington later today. The last time the group's stock cars raced was March 13th in Atlanta. There will be no fans in the stands later today when the race is shown on Fox at 3:30 Eastern Time. A pioneer for women in sports broadcasting has died at the age of 70. Phyllis George was crowned Miss America in 1971 and then joined NFL Today in 1975, where she worked alongside Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, and Jimmy DeGree.
There
She
you go.
would later co-anchor the CBS Morning News. And you're listening to USA Radio News.
While you have free time, you're sitting at home and you ponder what kind of gifts to buy for someone. PatriotPeople.com is you covered from puzzles, games, novelty items.
Perfect.
If you're looking for some unique style items when it comes to the president, for more, you can check out PatriotPeople.com. Call 844
What's that? Phone?
That's 844-377-8052 or PatriotDepot.com. Use promo code USA.
One of the hardest hit nations in the coronavirus pandemic is now easing travel restrictions. USA Radio's John Hunt has details.
After several months in lockdown, Italy has announced plans to lift its coronavirus travel ban. The country, an epicenter of the pandemic, plans to be mostly reopened within the next few weeks with strict health guidelines.
Yeah.
The Italian government plans
Thank
to
you.
allow travel to and from the country beginning June 3rd, according to a new decree signed by Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte. Citizens will also be able to travel freely within the country starting the same day. Certain travel may still be limited based on disease risk, which will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. People who have tested positive for COVID-19 will still remain under strict quarantine orders. The travel ban lifts the day after Italy's Republic Day, likely preventing a mass travel amount over the long holiday weekend. For USA Radio News, I'm John Hunt.
And Major League Baseball is planning to conduct up to 10,000 COVID-19 tests a week. If players agree to play a shortened season, there would be no high fives, no fist bumps, no spitting, no sunflower seeds, and no chewing tobacco allowed. And players would have to sit in the stands during the games and stay 6 feet away from each other in the dugouts, and there would be no showers at the ballparks. You can always find us online anytime. We're at usaradio.com with a newly designed website you might find informative. And for USA Radio News,
I'm Chris Barnes.
The opinions expressed on this program
It's
are
gonna be
those
a
of the host and do not express the views of
interesting way to watch baseball.
Yeah.
Seeing all the players in the
I'm really looking forward to
all programs
the
are those
commercial.
of
Did
the
it really
host
come out good?
and their
Yeah.
guests.
I'm ready, Mike.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530
You, Red Mike.
WBBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Middleboro in Review for May 17th, 2020. And we're going to say good morning to Dawn. How are you, Dawn?
Morning, Joe. What a beautiful day. No snow, huh?
No snow, which is a good thing. Which is a good
Was
thing.
it last week we had the snow? Was it? Yeah, it was Mother's Day weekend. Last weekend there was snow. So I think it was blowing around. It was a little chilly. A big difference a week makes, huh?
Yeah, so we have a jam-packed show for everyone today. We're going to talk about the rescheduled Middleboro town elections and when they've been where they've been rescheduled to according to the date and what positions are available. We're going to talk about JCPenney. JCPenney did announce this week that they were filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about Middleboro High School and when they plan on doing graduation. We're going to have our list of best small towns to visit in the United States. And many, many more things. But we're going to start off with the weather. So the weather for today, right now in Middleboro, it's 49 degrees, and it says it's foggy out. I don't think that was right. I don't think that is correct. I don't think it is foggy, but humidity is 85%. It's supposed to get up to 66 degrees this day. And the good news is there is no rain in the forecast for this upcoming week. In Taunton, it's 52. It's supposed to get up to 66 as well. In Driscoll, Texas, 72 degrees, and it's supposed to get up to 93 today. And in Driscoll, North Dakota, it is 38 degrees, and it's supposed to get up to 69 degrees. So that is the weather for today.
I say the day when Driscoll, Texas and Driscoll, North Dakota are the same temperatures. I'm going to buy you an ice cream cone. Ain't that a guy? Ain't that a sport or what, huh?
Yeah.
But it has to be, though. So
It has to, yeah.
Yeah, right. You know, if they're a degree
Might
off,
get there.
if it's a degree off, no ice cream cone for you. But
We might get there at some
you
point.
never know. You never know.
Ooh, we have a phone call. Let's take that phone call. Welcome to Middleboro in Review. Hello? You there, caller?
I got nothing.
Guess not.
Okay. Well, phone's on?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. If the person calls back, we will take the phone call.
Please call back.
If you want to contact us, the number is 508-822-1106. So that is our number, and I'll keep an eye on the phones just in case here.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off today with a poem. And that poem is called Golden Sunfish. Golden sunfish, race across the sea. You're in your zone, this is your place to be. Release your worries and silence your mind. You're sailing again. This is your time. Golden sunfish. You're running fast. Going to do it your way. No need to ask. You run it strong. You run it through. The time out there is all for you. Golden sunfish. You're a touch of class. Strength to others. Pat yourself on the back. You go with laughter. You go with style. Just to stay out there makes it all worthwhile. Golden sunfish. You're one with the sea. Is this everything you dreamed it would be? To heal your soul and lift your sorrows, it's good to be alive. I'll go sailing tomorrow.
That's uplifting, huh, Joe?
It is a very good poem. And we do have another phone call here. Let's pick it up. You're on WVBF, Middleboro in Review. Hello? I can't seem to hear this person.
I think we get problems with the phones, maybe?
Not sure.
You have anything switched on, buddy?
Yeah, everything seems to be good. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll try it again in a little bit. Oh, maybe this might be the problem here. Okay, I can hear something now. Alright, so caller, call back in. I think we've fixed the problem.
Yeah, with a switch.
Yeah, the phone. There's a phone thing here on my board here, and it was in queue. So I hope that fixes the problem.
That's it. Damn man, Joe.
All
What's
right.
the problem?
So caller, if you want to call back in, I think we'll be able to hear you this time. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Three times a charm, right?
Yes. So
Oh,
let's.
back to the poem, right?
Yes,
That's like an uplifting poem
it is. It is a great poem.
because of everything that's going on. I think you just need to go somewhere else for a little bit, and even if it's a brief second, I think take you somewhere away from all the chaos, from all the bad news.
Absolutely. Yes.
That was a great poem. Thanks for sharing with that. That was awesome.
No problem. All right. So let's start off today with talking about JCPenney. So this week, JCPenney did file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, and it was due to some of the things going on in the world with COVID-19, and that's a huge, huge blow for the retail business.
They've been around a
118
long
years
time.
old.
They've been around a long time.
Yeah,
How long?
118.
Wow.
So that is a huge blow to the retail business.
Doesn't mean they're out of business. They just
It definitely doesn't mean they're out of business. No, I'm not saying that.
No.
But
They've been closed. They've been shuttered for 2 months.
yes,
It could be a lot of that.
there is. So 118 years the company's been around. They're not going anywhere. Like I said, Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, which means they'll probably close some stores to restructure the company to make it more profitable somehow. And they will try to figure that out.
You know what the 500-pound elephant in the room is, right? Online.
Yeah.
Online deliveries, because there's been so much online deliveries in the last 2 months during this pandemic that people may not go back. So the brick and mortar stores, they have to reinvent themselves. To get
Absolutely.
People to go back, to get people to go, because everyone, I say there was a lot of people who dealt with online shopping anyway, but anybody who really didn't embrace it up to this point embraced it when they couldn't leave the house, nationwide, worldwide. So that's going to be something that you can't undo.
Yes.
So, and I know they get up a lot of drivers and a lot of facilities get up with personnel and whatnot to meet the demand. And that's what I'm saying. A lot lot of people might be afraid to go back to the stores too.
Yeah, and I believe JCPenney wasn't the only company to go out of to close stores.
But you can't underestimate the American, how Americans are. Sometimes, like for me, I'll be first one to go back to a movie theater. Day one, I'll be sitting in a movie theater. I don't care. I love going to the movies. I'd go to a restaurant. I would not hesitate to go. I don't have any health conditions. People do. Would probably not. But it's a lot of people would just, they don't. For instance, after the marathon bombing in 2013, I went to a show 2 days later at the House of Blues. There was really nobody there, and everyone was really afraid of what was going on. They didn't know if those guys are still out there. But I went. It wasn't like I let nothing scare me, let nothing deter me from living my life. Anything. So, guidelines are out there as far as the health crisis. Wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, do your part so people can be safe. Wear your mask as much as you can, indoors or wherever, and just be careful. And we'll get through this.
So, when it comes to movie theaters, I do want to say something. That AMC Theaters, over the past couple of weeks, has had a little bit of a argument with NBC Universal. Because of all the COVID-19 stuff, the NBC Universal company is doing at home. They're releasing their movies via a home service.
Newer movies?
Yes, newer movies. So there was a movie called Trolls World Tour, which is a kids movie, which they released on like a home pay kind of thing.
Right.
And NBC Universal and the movie theater AMC were kind of arguing about that, and AMC decided to ban all the NBC Universal movies from their theaters as of a couple weeks ago.
Well, yeah, when they get up and running.
Yeah. When they get up and running, that they will not be showing any NBC Universal movies. So, movies like Jurassic World and Fast and Furious 9, which is supposed to come out next year, may not be shown at the AMC theaters.
There we go, brick and mortar, playing online.
And also, Regal Cinemas is also involved in this as well.
I think the movie industry, in my opinion, going out to the movies, has suffered because it's a lot of money. We go to the movie, we pay a lot for 2 people, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I don't know about you, I have to have my popcorn. I have to have it. I cannot go to movies without popcorn. It's just one of those psychological things. I have to have it, And they charge you through the roof for popcorn and something to drink. I just think it just makes it not, just makes it so you can't afford to take a family to the movies. It's just, I don't know why they have to mark up the concession so much. And why it's so expensive just to go sit at a movie theater. So, I mean, in a way, they're outpricing their existence. Because after this 2-month period or 3-month period in quarantine and during the pandemic, I don't think people are going to go back to the movies as much. I don't want to say anything, to hurt any business at all, but it's a trend. I think it was happening before the pandemic hit. I like going to the movies myself. I like the dark theater. I like the whole idea. To see any of those Star Wars movies, you have to see them in the theater, in my opinion. But it just priced out bad. They need to get a handle on their prices. They really do, to make it affordable. And they'll get people by volume. But then again, okay, you get it by volume, you're talking crowds. So if you don't have as much people, you raise the price. So they got to figure out a formula to keep themselves in business. I wouldn't want to see the movie theaters all go tar.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about Middleboro town election. And it's been rescheduled. And we will mention the date of the rescheduling when we return here on Middleboro in Review. We'll be right back. Okay.
So you got quite a few ads to play now, huh, buddy?
Yeah.
And plus you got to do the PSA and you got a lot of ads to stick in there, huh?
Williams Trading Post is a proven certified garden center and is the best shop in Middleboro for all seasonal plants and vegetables. They also sell gifts, antiques, and collectibles. They are open Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thursday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 508-947-1598 or visit them at 556 Wareham Street, Middleboro. And the number again is 508-947-1598. Their antique shop is not open at this time.
Hi, this is Jim Larkin.
I like that.
Join me every Sunday from noon to 2 o'clock.
That's good music.
Ooh, Chris picked that?
Sounds of the
Yeah, Chris picked that. That's great music.
Traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes some live singers in the studio. And to make you laugh, some Irish comedy. That's Sundays from noon to 2, right here on WVBF, 1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the internet at hometowntalkradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Brown, inviting you to tune in to Talkin' Birds, a show about wild birds, birding, and conservation, right here on WVBF, broadcasting from the Taunton Federal Credit Union studios at 14 Church Green. Join us for informative interviews and fun information about birds and birding. It's
Don't know.
Talkin' Birds,
Don't
Saturday
know.
mornings at 8 and Sunday mornings at 9, here on WVBF, AM 1530 and 99.7 FM.
TJ Driscoll Construction is based in Wareham, Massachusetts, serving the South Shore area and Cape Cod for 30 years. They specialize in septic repair and landscaping. Call TJ Driscoll Construction at 508-735-7966. Septic repair, new septic systems. I got it.
What was it? Was it pushed in the wrong?
This one was in queue. Lawn installations, tree and
No, I mean telephone. So why couldn't you hear us? Why couldn't you hear?
That was pushed in. I'm pretty sure that was the problem because everything else was good.
Because I was thinking maybe it was in burn. I was calling in. I have something I want to talk about over here.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so one more commercial.
More commercials.
Oh yeah, because we got the yep.
Spark Street
You have
Auto
PSA too, right?
Yeah.
Spark Street.
City Councilor Dan Dermody died of a heart attack yesterday morning.
Really?
57 years
Auto
old.
service for your car. They are
What?
a direct repair shop for
Yeah.
all major insurance companies. You should reach them at 508
I know it's about Middleboro, but-
583-1495. They're
Yeah,
open
fine.
Monday through Thursday.
So I was like, I better get up there because otherwise.
This isn't just about Middleboro. We can talk about that too. I mean, I talk about Taunton stuff all the time.
508
So-
But we're also going to check the phone links before I leave. Why are these?
Yeah.
Why do these get all unplugged?
Combat veteran
Why do people do this?
I don't know.
Association of
You know what I mean? Why?
United States Armed Forces.
No, like
Jesus.
Our mission is to support
You know,
those who have
this is what I mean.
freedoms.
I tell Mark, I said, it's great having these shows on the weekend, but chaos breaks out
And guidance.
because there's no management presence here.
And welcome home.
And so anything could happen. I mean, hell, they could be having a cake party for all we know.
Many
members
I've
continue to serve in our
never
armed
worked in a
forces
station that
with
brokered
some
out
serving in
shows.
combat areas now. We sponsor and or participate in many motorcycle-related charity events
Things like
each
broker
year.
out shows.
And as a nonprofit
People pay to be on the air
donate
instead
to
of
various
us
veteran care
either
facilities
syndicating
and
them
charities
or paying
to
people
learn
to
Joey
do
show
it.
we could consider a
Motorcycle
house show,
Association
right?
and how you can
Well, it's
join
Joey's show.
Yeah, but
It's actually considered broker. Yeah, because
Oh,
he
it
pays
is?
for it. Yeah.
-2
well,
Because when
his sponsors pay for it.
his sponsors pay for it, but you know what I'm saying is that money goes, portions of that money go back
Oh, okay.
to the house.
Oh,
All right, we got 3 seconds here before we go back on the air. Three, two, one. And we're back here on Middleboro in Review for the 17th of May. And we're joined by Chris Keach.
Good morning, Joey.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine. I hope we get the telephone thing straightened out. We'll do a test. We do need our telephones. But I was going to call in. I know the show's about Middleboro, but of course, shocking news yesterday morning, late yesterday, that Taunton City Councilor Dan Dermody had passed away suddenly at the age of 57. His brother Terry telling the Taunton Gazette that Dan died of a heart attack late Saturday morning. He was elected to his first 2-year term on the city council back in 2015. Lost re-election in 2017, was elected to a second term in November of 2019. So he was a current serving member of the city council. Dan had also served 8 2-year terms on the Taunton Planning Board, including 12 years as a chairman. He leaves behind an adopted son, Luke, who I believe is in the 8th grade. Dermody served as a referee with local football and lacrosse teams and leagues, and was involved with the University of Massachusetts Alumni Association. So Dan Dermody, 57, city councilor in Taunton, passing away suddenly yesterday. Now we've lost Dan. We lost Jason Buffington to illness within the last year. City solicitor, some big losses for the city of Taunton, and these are both well-known people who, by the way, were on this radio station many times. So we extend condolences to Dan's family and, of course, to his son Luke. A real tragedy, and it's always shocking when somebody passes away like that. It really is. It's
sudden.
He had a heart attack, and a lot of times these things do happen in the morning, unfortunately. At 57, the guy's like a year younger than I am. Gives you pause for thought, right?
Yeah.
Gives you pause for thought. So that's what we're going to be talking about that a lot tomorrow morning during the morning wake-up news beginning at 7. And, of course, we're going to be talking about it throughout the day as well. And I'm sure during the week people will be talking about it because now we're going to have an election to fill his seat. And when that will happen and how that will happen due to the pandemic, we have an election coming up June 1st to fill the House of Representatives seat that was vacated by Mayor Shauna O'Connell when she became mayor in January, and that's going to be decided. Kelly Dooner and Carol Doherty are going to be in that, and that's coming right up, June 2nd. So we'll find out more about that. But that's all I got to say. Continue on. Middleboro in review. I know it's not Middleboro news, but
He talks about Taunton stuff all the time.
but it
Yes.
no. It is. Look, we know. Look, it's like we have a show in the afternoon, Stand Up Strong. It's all about Brockton, and I think that's great. I think it's always good. We had a show for many years, Middleboro Midday, with Ed Rand, that talked really just about Middleboro, and so it's a big community. It's important to us. It's one of the cities of our license. You hear Middleboro, Taunton, WVBF, Middleboro, Taunton. So it is important to us. So thank you for doing it. But anyway, some sad news. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning on WVBF Hometown Talk.
Condolences to the family.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
So, town of Middleborough is going to have an election coming up, June 20th. And here is the positions that are available here in the upcoming election. So we're going to have 2 Board of Selectmen seats that are going to be up. So that is for a 3-year term. Gas and electric, 1 seat for a 3-year term. School committee, 2 seats for 3-year terms. Board of Assessors, 1 assessor seat for 3 years. Finance Committee, 2 Finance Committee seats for 3 years and 1 for 2 years. Planning Board, we have 1 Planning Board member for 5 years. Park Commissioners, 2 Park Commissioners for 3 years. And Housing Authority, 1 Housing Authority seat for 5 years. So those are the positions available for the June 20th election in the town of Middleboro.
It's a lot of people.
Yes, it
A lot of
is.
candidates there, huh?
Yes, absolutely. It's a lot of people who are up for re-election June 20th. And we have graduation coming up in August, the first Saturday of August. So here are the senior activities, the rescheduled senior activities for Middleboro High School. So July 27th, which will be a Monday, will be the senior barbecue. Senior barbecue, that is always a fun event.
Did you do that when you were a senior?
I don't remember if I went to it. I don't know. I think I did.
Because you are a graduate of 2017, right?
Yeah, I think I was there. I think I did do the barbecue. Tuesday, the 28th, is the senior scholarship night. It is a very fun night. It is the night where all the seniors who won scholarships, they received the scholarships that night. And very fun night for all the seniors. Wednesday, the 29th, is senior last assembly. Another fun day for the seniors. July the 30th is senior prom. It's supposed to take place at Granite Links in Quincy, Mass. My senior prom took place, trying to remember.
Wasn't it Sharon somewhere?
Maybe. It might have been Fall River.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't Fall River?
No.
I don't remember. It could have been Sharon.
I think it was. Somewhere in Sharon. I forgot the name too. I remember.
I forgot the name of the place.
I remember that day. So.
It's in Sharon, I think.
Yeah.
Or
It was really nice.
or close to Foxborough. It's somewhere near Foxborough.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the place right now.
Well, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Why would you, right?
I don't remember the place.
3 years ago, pretty much to the month.
Yeah.
To the day, 3 years ago.
Yep, pretty much. So Friday, July 31st will be senior celebration. I'm not sure what that entails. I'm not sure if that's like senior last assembly or not. I think senior celebration is more like... I think it's more like they load the seniors up into a bus and travel around the town. I think that's what it is.
No one's being loaded into any buses now.
No,
it's going to be different.
It's going to be a different thing.
They've really got to think things through here.
It'll be a different kind of celebration this time. And Saturday, August 1st, class of 2020 graduation ceremony. Guessing it will take place in the gym of Middleboro High School. But they could decide to do it somewhere where they could do social distancing.
Yeah, like outside parking lot somewhere.
They could do it outside, yes. I know some high schools do it outside. In their regular
and all these
graduations.
dates are be determined too.
Yes, this is all to be determined. These are not set in stone.
No, nothing.
These are
set in stone yet.
These are the dates that have been announced but are not set in stone.
Nobody can set anything in stone these days.
No.
Nobody.
No,
But,
absolutely not.
It's more like a morale thing, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. So we have some news here about spring sports. It's a couple weeks old. I did miss this story from a couple weeks ago, but I do want to mention that MIAA has officially canceled 2020 spring sports for this season. And it's also happened in Rhode Island, I believe, as well. Let me confirm that. I know it's in here. Yes, Rhode Island has also canceled spring sports for the season of 2020. So spring sports in Massachusetts and in Rhode Island have been canceled for this season, which would have already been underway. We would have already been halfway through, yes. Yeah. So that's some news that from a couple weeks ago that I did miss. But I just wanted to mention that there today. And MLB owners have approved a plan to start the season in July, and it's going to be right around, it could be right around July 4th where they start. It's going to be interesting to see how they return to baseball. You did hear on the USA Radio News that they could have players in the stands to practice social distancing. They would have no crowd. And they would have players in the stands. They'd have restrictions on what the players can do. No sunflower seeds and stuff like that. So it'll be different kind of viewing experience for the MLB season this year.
They got to get land. There's a lot of contracts in jeopardy. Like I said, when this started, to be a contract lawyer in this day and age is going to be definitely different.
Yeah.
In these day and age.
Yeah. NASCAR returns today.
Yes, NASCAR returns
on Fox.
Yeah.
And then they're going to continue on, largely working out of 3 racetracks around the South.
Right.
That are all within a 3-hour drive of most of the team's headquarters down in the Carolinas.
Right.
And again, no stands in the fans. I mean, no fans in the stands.
No fans in the stands.
No fans in the stands.
Construction on the Woo Sox Polar Park has resumed after a 5-week hiatus as well.
They stopped working on that.
They did. They stopped working.
I think you're going to see a lot of construction projects kicking in.
Yeah, I think you are too.
Everyone's waiting on Governor Charlie Baker's announcement tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. By the way, there were 7 state representatives. I think there was one from the Framingham area, Leominster, that sent a letter Friday saying extend it until June 1st. You know, and I don't know if the governor's going to do that. The other thing I noticed is I went to a convenience store last Friday after I left here, just to get some gas, a couple other items, and there were people in there. They were like, they're not wearing masks.
Right.
I did. I had mine on.
Right.
If I'm going in, I'm wearing mine.
Right.
But they weren't wearing masks, and I think you're seeing more and more of that. And now there was a big article in the Boston Globe. It was a national story about, you know, what do you do when people walk into the store and said, I'm not wearing a mask? You know,
there's been a lot of
do you
violence.
create a scene? Do you do the violence?
There's been a lot of violence.
You know, you got a couple of big guys or you know, or anybody, you know, women know how to fight too, folks.
Right.
They do. Just ask the people who run women's prisons that, you know, hey, I'm not putting on a mask, buddy. You're going to make me?
Right.
What do you do when somebody's like that, you know?
Right.
Call the police, have a big scene. Now people are like, hey, we're not going in there. The cops are here. You know what I mean? It's just,
no.
We're suffering enough business-wise. Just let them in, you know,
Right.
and try to keep away from them. So it's a very interesting thing.
And then you hear about, like, other people have masks, starting with people who don't, and then this fight.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, don't tell me what to do.
Right. You know what I mean? Mind your own business. Hopefully, most people are not selfish and will wear a mask.
Yeah, I don't particularly like doing it, and I do have personal concerns, and this is where our disclaimer that says this is just my view and not that of the radio station
Right.
or Mark Pacheco or our owner.
Right.
But I do become concerned about personal liberties when you see some people, or I feel that some people, and I don't think we have that with Governor Baker or anybody
No.
here in Mass,
No.
but some people, like there was some guy about a month ago, oh, the spectator sports are done. We're never going to have them again. And I'm thinking, look, I'm
Right.
sorry if you got picked last for the team and you hate
Right.
sports,
Exactly.
or it's just not your thing.
Right.
But the fact is that sports are going to continue.
That's
one
what I'm
way or
saying.
another.
I'm hearing. I remember hearing on a AM station back in March, early April. There was a petition to shut the bridges down on the Cape. First of all, I don't know why they would be reporting that because it technically.
Well, first of all, you can't
You
restrict
can't.
transportation like that unless it was a flat out, a nuclear bomb went off.
Pretty
You
much.
know what I mean? It's
US,
like,
US 6 is one. It's a federal road. One of
yeah.
the bridges is a
Well,
US
that's it.
road.
It becomes you're restricting people's right to move around.
But to hear that on a radio station, why would that get the time of day?
Well,
It just
because
seems
well,
like-
because well, it got your attention, didn't it?
Oh, sure it did. But
Right?
it's
How
just
many
like-
how many radio stations have you listened to where somebody would be like, I think we should close all the nursing homes and throw all the old folks out into the street.
Right.
The phones start lighting up. People are
I
called
guess
up
it
and
is good
outraged.
radio, but
It works. It gets listeners. It gets your attention in the worst way. In the worst way. It's in a dumb way.
But among most people who have a good mind know that's impossible, never happened.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There are
Yeah.
rules and laws. Like I said, unless it was a hazmat situation, right? There's a hazmat
Right.
situation in downtown Taunton. Guess what?
Right.
You're not coming in. When we had a gas leak here,
Yeah.
like they came around, and I was actually surprised that they left me leave this area because it was that close.
Right.
But they were like, as long as you're not turning towards the area of the
Right.
new the new old city hall that's being rebuilt where
Right.
the leak was, I was going up towards 44, up towards Rainham. They let me go.
Right.
That's a different thing, though. That's a public safety issue.
Public
and
safety
it was
issue.
within an hour or so they had it mitigated.
Right.
Gas was cleared, line was fixed.
Right.
We're back to normal.
I think there's a lot of people out there that want to see the air cleared when it comes to this pandemic.
Yeah.
They're just like, they just don't want to see life come back to normal. They just, like you said about that guy who said that, we'll never see sports again. And then you're hearing all this, and they're canceling stuff up to next year, and and then they're gonna turn around and reschedule it because
Yeah.
they're gonna.
Yeah.
So it's,
I think we were lucky. My grandfather lived through the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, and he said it was absolutely awful. It would kill whole families. It would kill them. In other words, he lived in northern New Hampshire,
Right.
where people didn't necessarily have telephones,
right.
and we haven't heard from so and so in a while. We better check his house, and they go up there all masked up, or some of them wearing gas masks that
Right.
had been issued,
Right.
and would go up, and they're all dead. And he said in one case we just burned the house down around them.
Up in New Hampshire.
Yeah, just rather than remove the bodies,
Right.
just burn the house down.
Right.
Because one of their relatives says, well, I guess the land goes to me.
So all your roots are from, all your family is from New Hampshire, pretty much, right?
Northern New Hampshire and northern Vermont. My adoptive family,
Okay, right.
my biological family come from southern New Hampshire. I was born in Boston, so.
All right.
So anyway, so when you go to a break, we're gonna check the phone, make sure we're working, because we're gonna need those later on today. I have a feeling. So
Before we take a break, we want to mention here, that Jerry Stiller passed away this week. Jerry Stiller,
I saw that.
Of course.
I loved him.
Jerry Stiller, of course,
He was awesome on Seinfeld. It was Seinfeld, right?
yes, played
Oh,
on Seinfeld.
when I was a kid, Ed Sullivan Show, when everybody watched the Sullivan Show,
Right.
him and his wife Ann Mira were on. Honest to God, every week it seemed like
Yeah.
the comedy of Stiller and Mira, and they were really for the for the mid to late '60s, they were kind of edgy,
Right.
and I don't know. The guy had a long career. He was 92 when he passed away.
Wow.
Amazing. And then to reinvent himself, not once but twice, because
Right.
don't forget, he not only played a dad, George Costanza's dad, in Seinfeld, but he also played the father in King of Queens.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
that? Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Lived down in the basement.
Yep.
And it was kind of like the same character in many ways.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, and he was in his 70s when he did that. Anyway, it was late 60s.
Yeah, no, he was still working, and he was hilarious. I guess he was hilarious. It was hard. They showed some outtakes from the Seinfeld show where they couldn't finish the scene because all he'd be like, "So what do you want from me?" And just the way he did it, and they'd be like, all right, okay, come on, okay, take 3. So what do you want from me? You know, and they would just melt again, and it's like, okay, so what do you want from me? And they would start laughing all over again. It just got to the point where no matter how he said it, they laughed.
Did Jerry and his son Ben ever do a movie together?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Zoolander.
Zoolander, the supermodel movie.
Oh, really?
That was his last appearance in the film, Zoolander Supermodel.
Oh, was that?
That's trivia. That's a trivia
Was
question.
that a sequel?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Zoolander Supermodel. He was in there.
Imagine that playing a part with your father.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better than that. Because Ben Stiller is a really good actor too. So another generation. I've always liked him.
Yeah, Ann Mira passed away, I think, in 2015.
Okay.
And also, we did lose another actor, Fred Willard.
No, God, that guy was funny.
He was in Modern Family and Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh,
And in Fernwood Tonight, he was also in A Mighty Wind. He was an amazing comic, edgy comic actor. You know, oh wow. Look up Fernwood Tonight and watch an episode of it online.
All right.
And, and a very young Fred in this. He's like the sidekick.
Really?
Martin Mull. Martin Mull.
I remember Martin Mull.
Martin Mull plays a talk show host in an Ohio town. It's kind of like, you know, a small town thing, and it's just offbeat 70s humor.
Was Martin Mull Ed Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or was that somebody else?
He might have been.
Remember him?
I know that.
Principal Rooney. Remember him?
Yeah, I know that he and those two guys reprised their roles as a gay couple in Roseanne later on.
I remember that.
Him and Fred, yeah. But they had worked before on Fernwood Tonight, and that was sort of like an inside joke to anybody that saw that show. Was kind of like, oh, well, you know, they paired up these guys again, but in a different way.
Sure, yeah.
So let's take another break, and when we return to the break, we're going to talk about some South Coast Rail stuff.
You found that.
I did. I found that article. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the best towns in every single state as well.
And test the phones.
And also test the phones. And we're going to talk about it today in history. So we will be right back here on Middleboro in Review.
Go ahead and go to your break. Yeah.
WVBF.
No, that's me.
Yep. All right. I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. So.
Hey, Chris.
Where's my log?
Alrighty, I'm out of here.
So you want to ask you a quick question? Actually,
Sure.
a favor. We're
What's
not
up?
sure. We don't have a definitive date either. But we want to go away like the second or third week of June.
Okay.
And Joey wanted to know if you could do a show for him on Sunday. We can get a date, soon.
Well, we might see if we can get Bob Bolsick in here to do it. You know. Because that's going to be a whole, you know, we'll talk to Bob. We'll give us a firm date, and we'll approach Bob Bolsick about it, because he may want to come in and get some hours.
Yeah, we're hoping you though.
It's not going to be me. It's probably not going to be me. Because I put in enough time during the week.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Believe me. The dozens of phone calls that I deal with, the meetings with Mark that you don't see, I've done enough.
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality.
What I would suggest doing too.
Yeah. Mark suggested maybe do a show, record a show.
Yes.
And then just have someone play it.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Yeah.
But how am I going to do that?
Either record a new
Get a
show.
cassette.
It's a set, yeah.
Cassette.
I gotta try to find a cassette that I can record, that I can tape over.
What, to come in and just come in and do a show that's not live, or just do a
I love this.
Is a proven certified garden center and is the best shop in Middleboro for all seasonal plants and vegetables.
I love the music you got there from William Straden Post.
They're open Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 5
I haven't heard that before.
Thursday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 508-947-1598 or visit them at 556 Grandeur Street, Middleboro. And the number again is 508-947-1598.
Talk to Bob. He's gonna do it live, I guess.
Their innovation shop is not open at this time.
And I'll even provide the stuff for the show too. Like,
Yeah, but you know, because it's not just doing this show, it means doing the whole morning. So that's a 6-day week for me, and it kills it. I know it kills it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Well, I figured it would ask you because
Yeah.
you're the better choice.
Yeah.
You're welcome to hang out for the last 10 minutes of the show because we're gonna do.
Always look for the better
Say
choice
history.
first.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Where did all of these go?
Also basements, attics,
You know what I'm saying? Where did all of these
houses,
go?
and property in
I know I had some for politically speaking that I have to keep.
Yeah, I know
Some
that.
people don't take
No, I know that. But
334. Call them
we
today.
had
You will not be disappointed.
literally hundreds
I
of
know.
them.
I don't know what happened to them.
Jesus.
Okay, let's.
You got two more? You got TJ and you got
No, we're done. We're
You
done.
did Spark Street though?
I think so. Yeah, we
You
did.
did.
All right. You know what? Yeah. You know what? We'll do that.
Spark Street Auto Body located.
We're running out of time here. No best towns. We're running out of time. We got 6 minutes.
Auto service for your car.
Well, you can do a couple
They are
towns real
direct
quick.
repair shop for
You said
all
you would
major
do it.
insurance companies.
Do one.
I'll do one.
508-583-1495. They're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed.
Oh, what happened? Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh, that sucks. Hit the wrong button. Oh boy.
What did you press?
I don't know.
That sounds like the randomizer button.
Yeah, I was going to hit 320.
That's 039 is the randomizer.
Yeah, and I actually.
I recorded that for Tony, so you'd have a random drawing.
You're welcome to stick around for a few more minutes to hear the rest of the show.
Alright, I'm trying to find
Alright, let's go back.
some way to...
And we're back here on Middleboro in Review here for the 17th of May. We are still joined by Dawn and Chris, and we're going to do one of the best small towns in America. And the one we're going to do today is we're going to do Delaware, if I can find it here. I know it's here somewhere, buried in here. So, yep, Delaware, right here. Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And Rehoboth Beach, Delaware is known as the nation's summer capital in the 1920s. Rehoboth Beach is a perfect for a family vacation, complementing the town's sweeping beach, which incidentally is a popular surf spot, are amusement parks, mini golf courses, and a water park. The beachfront boardwalk is packed with shops and bars and free summer concerts taking place.
Just not this year.
Yeah, not this year. At the bandstand. So that is Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Yeah, we got plans to go up to, Hampton Beach in New Hampshire in the first weekend of August. We have a long weekend up there, and I'm praying that they're going to be able to do something up there.
But that's when you can get in the water because I remember going up in like early July and the water was still freezing.
Oh, it's always cold there. Sorry, it's always cold. The hottest day of the year. It's cold.
I think it lasts.
I don't swim in the ocean anyway. I'll hit the pool.
Right.
We stay at the Hampton House, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's right on the beach, but I'll walk the beach. But I do not look. When you swim in a freshwater lake or a pool, do you have to take a shower afterwards?
No.
No, in the ocean you do, and that should show you something.
But they say that the salt has healing properties as far as therapeutic, you know?
Yeah,
As far as,
yeah. They have spas, you know, for that sort of thing. I don't. No, I'm not an ocean swimmer. I didn't grow up with it, and I don't. Ugh.
Yeah, you were up country.
Yeah,
all your life.
on Lake Champlain too,
Right.
which is a big lake,
Right.
but it's fresh water.
Right.
It's fresh water.
So, the MBTA approved a $159 million contract for South Coast rail work. So there's going to be some brand new stations in Freetown and Fall River, and construction of all new Weaver Cove layover facility, and work on 12 miles of track, which have been included in the $159 million contract the MBTA approved Monday for South Coast Rail.
Yeah, lots of work going on there.
Most of the infrastructure is new, though. If you go through Fall River, all those overpasses
Yeah.
are new. They're
Yeah.
relatively new. They're within 10, 15 years.
Well, they're moving ahead with it.
The freight company did it years ago.
Yeah, but they're moving ahead with it, and you know, I think they're going to finish by 2023.
Fall of 2023.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we'll be back to normal back then, so people can actually get on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We will have.
2 hours.
Sorry, only 2 people on the train. I wonder why we're losing money.
Oh, you know it's funny too. In the weekends when they ran the trains, they'd run the 6 cars.
Yeah.
And they'd stick everyone in one car.
Yeah.
On the weekends.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the case now, and I don't think the MBTA has charged since this started.
No, they're not. They're not. And there's just a lot of people that are saying that they can't, you know, like JCPenney, as you mentioned at the top of your show, you know, out of business. JCPenney, you know, and Sears basically dead in the water. You know, I don't know. They still might be alive in some.
I think JCPenney, were they out of business or were they just
Chapter 11?
Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. So what
They
will
might
probably
try to reorganize.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is they're going to close some stores and they're going to reorganize.
Well, this whole pandemic got everyone shopping online.
Yeah.
And if you didn't shop online before the pandemic, you're doing it now.
Yeah, you like, for example, some restaurants are really hurting for this, but there are like some local restaurants that aren't doing so bad. They were saying there's a pizza place downtown that they've hired 30% more drivers.
Right.
You know, I know that there's an Italian place. I mean, I've ordered food from all of our sponsors. I picked up food from all of them, and in each case, they seem to be busy. They're just, you know, because of all the bags that you see sitting up on the counter. They'll come out and hand it to you. In fact, there's a Chinese place up downtown that's opened up, but they have like a little thing, like it's a box that you come in and they kind of see you, and then they put the food in the box and close it.
Right.
And they give you your bill, and then you sign the whatever it is, or you hand them your money, and then you pull it out, and then they don't come into contact with you directly.
Almost like an old bank teller thing where they
Oh
slide
yeah,
it out.
exactly. It's the same thing.
So we have today in history to end off the show. So we have a couple.
Well, shut up here, Joey.
So 1792, the New York Stock Exchange is formed under the Buttonwood Agreement. Very important agreement that started the New York Stock Exchange, which is very, very important to our economy. 1987, Iran-Iraq War. An Iraqi Dassault Mirage F-1 fighter jet fires 2 missiles into the U.S. Navy warship USS Stark, killing 37 and injuring 21. 1995, Sean Nelson steals an M60 tank from the California Army National Guard Armory in San Diego and proceeds to go on a rampage.
I think he crushed a lot of cars with it. I seem to remember that he was going down. These poor people were parked on the street, and he was just like running over them, crushing their cars.
2007, trains from North and South Korea crossed the 38th parallel in a test run agreed by both governments. This is the first time that trains have crossed the demilitarized zone since 1953.
Yeah. They're still in a state of war. They just have like a ceasefire, really.
Yeah, the war's never been over.
The war's never really over. And they had a situation 2 or 3 weeks ago where a guy got shot while in his guardhouse in South Korea. And of course they retaliated by firing, artillery back. But yeah, it happens all the time. They say it could have been just stray bullets from a firing range.
Right.
That accidentally
Tit-for-tat.
crossed the DMZ and went to this guy's guardhouse and killed him.
Right.
So our birthdays for today Sugar Ray Leonard, 1956, American boxer. 1958, Paul Di'Anno, English rock singer.
He was the original singer for
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
1965, Trent Reznor, American singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and producer. Deaths on this day: 1886, John Deere, the American blacksmith and businessman. He founded Deere Company, which is the biggest, or one of the biggest, tractor companies in the nation. 2012, Donna Summer, American singer, songwriter.
Yeah, she's awesome. Donna Summer was such a class act, in my opinion.
She was really, really good. Yes, she was really good. So that will do it for today's show. I hope everyone enjoyed today's show, and we'll be back for May 24th, the May 24th edition of Middleboro in Review. We will see everyone next week. All right.
You over again, Jeff?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, do it. 3 minutes.
Can't do a news.
Broadcasting live from the Taunton Federal
right.
Studios at 14 Church
Don't forget to do the disclaimer.
AM 1530
Yeah.
Did you do it for your show?
Middleboro, Taunton, and W259
Yeah.
DD, Middleboro Center, 99.6
I think I did it.
FM, Hometown Talk Radio.
I'm pretty sure I did.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the May 17th edition of Middleboro in Review. We'll be back.
Any comments?
Hold on. We'll be back next week, and we are going to be talking about the MBTA and their approval of the $159 million contract. More in detail next week. So we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.